All right, it is 12:31, so let's get started. And I got to tell you, here's before we actually get into our October meeting here, I see a lot of familiar smiling faces. I also see a lot of names. Although I like your name, we'd much rather see your face. I'll tell you that. And it's a lot of. This is a really cool way. There's Pierre. I see you setting that up. This is a really cool way to meet. Of course, we would rather meet in person, but this is the next best thing, and we today we've got a lot in store for you. So again, this is a Zoom call. This is not our first Zoom call. Uh, Keep your microphones muted, your cameras on, if you will, and if you have questions or comments, put them in the chat box there. We'll keep an eye on them. And you hit record, right? Yes, I did. Thank you, Christine. I did. And as I said, lots to go through today. So I'm going to bring up the slides right now. So just bear with me while I share my screen, and we'll get that cracking. There we go. So I want to make sure everyone can see this. And everyone sees, give me a thumbs up if you see the welcome screen. Yes, we are good. Everything's rocking and rolling. Okay, today, what's on the agenda? So Jen Silvernagle is going to be giving us a PC coaching update. She shared with me some pretty amazing numbers over the last, yesterday. And we're going to celebrate that today and kind of get an overview of what's happening in her coaching program. It's phenomenal. It is moving our brokerage forward. So we're very thankful for that. I've asked Mary Furnell, who many of us know as our graphic designer and branding. She does a lot of branding for our agents. She's also very passionate about realtor safety. So she's going to talk to us today about cyber safety and how to protect the most important information, not only for our clients, but obviously for ourselves. And that's really, really important. So thank you for Mary for sharing that. I came across a study by PricewaterhouseCoopers. Maybe twice a year, they'll put together a report on the real estate industry in Canada and the United States. They do some fantastic research. The most recent one came out a few days ago, and it's 117 pages long. So I read all those pages. No, I didn't. Well, what I did do was look at it, and I'm pulling out some of the highlights, and we're going to look at that together, just where some of the institutional investors are looking, and where they see the market going and what they're investing in and what they're looking at, and more importantly, how they've shifted and pivoted. And I'll tell you what, it's very similar to what we're doing here at our level as the real estate industry and as leading realtors in this area. So I look for those parallels there and look for the opportunities when we go through that. Marvin's going to talk to us about the Personal Real Estate Corporation and give us an update there. And something that happened really uniquely out in the Ottawa office that Marvin operates out there. They had a little impromptu open forum question period. So time pending, we may offer that this afternoon right after this meeting. So if you wanted to stay on and had some questions around the Personal Real Estate Corporation moving forward there, we can certainly make that available to us after this. Of course, we're going to do our top three. So that's the top three in a couple of different categories as teams, groups, and individuals. We want to celebrate you there. Of course, Christine has the broker bits and IMS stats. As always, we want to see where we are, which is where your business is moving in this current snapshot. And Marvin's also going to share with us how we're doing as a brokerage and how we've moved throughout this year of strangeness, if you will, and it's some pretty awesome numbers that are coming in, and the business is fantastic, and he's going to show us how we've been improving our business together as a brokerage, but more importantly, you as realtors, and that's highly important. Okay, I'm going to start off with this. Bucket fills. I want to fill Stephanie's bucket. She is our market center administrator. She runs our office, leads our office, and just the new energy she's brought to our office since January, Steph, has been amazing. And different things like I don't know if you've seen the pictures or if you've been here to experience a birthday celebration. It is next level. And Stephanie, you are certainly changing this office and making it better. And I know a lot of people appreciate you. I just wanted to take this time publicly to show my appreciation. Awesome stuff. And I know many people probably have the same thought. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's dive in. Jen, get ready. I'm going to pull you on screen here in just a second. I'm muting your microphone. Good stuff. And so we had some awesome stuff happened over the last couple of months with productivity coaching. Kayla Sutton here, she did this testimonial, albeit a number of months ago. We wanted to make sure that everyone saw it because what she says is so powerful. So take a minute here to see what Kayla has to say. Jen, if you want to jump on right afterwards, we'll go through some of the information you sent me here. So take a listen into Kayla.
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla, and I just wanted to take a minute to give a big thank you to Jen for all of her support, guidance, and mentorship over the last year. I've officially been a coaching student of hers for a year now, and I honestly could not imagine what it would have been like to power through my first year of real estate without her. She's amazing when it comes to navigating all the ups and downs through real estate. She's amazing when it comes to keeping you accountable to your goals. So anyone who's looking for any form of coaching, I would highly recommend Jen any day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, you on screen with us here?
I am. I'm here.
All right, Jen Silbernagel, everybody. She is the leader of our productivity coaching program. And Jen, why don't you talk to us about what's been going on over the last month? And as you kind of highlight some of the things I have on slide here, I'll flip the slide so it reveals the big number, if you will. And it's all yours. The platform is all yours.
Awesome. Yeah. So what we wanted to do was just look at, where everyone's at in coaching, because we show a lot of the testimonials and we talk a lot about it, but, we know the numbers show what's really going on. And we've had just a crazy couple of months. August and September were both stellar for our coaching guys. They also went through Ignite through September and into October. So they had that on top of the coaching as well. And they've had some pretty amazing numbers. So we'll start with the total deals written in the month of September. So there were 6 total deals that were written in September alone. And that's not even the final number. So what happens is at the end of each month, Steph updates our tracking sheet. So I know that there's more than 6, but that's what we've had on paper since at least August going into September. And I know that we have, a bunch more written through October, November, and a couple even into December at this point. So what I love about it is that they're producing at a high level and they're producing and creating cash flow 2 to 3 months out, right? The total number of deals closed in September is one of my favorite numbers. It's an 18 transactions closed, and we currently have 33 people in the coaching program. So that's close to a 44% production rate within productivity coaching, which is awesome. And some of our guys are just new and getting started, and some of them have been in the program close to their year. But it's amazing to see, 40% of people writing transactions on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. And then also, and probably the most exciting of all the news, is that we have a capper again in September, and that is Lana Zalden. She capped, which is amazing. I believe it's her first time capping. She joined the coaching program with us in the springtime, probably I think February or March. And we've been working together towards some of her goals. And she's been just absolutely killing it, working with her database, getting some more business. And yeah, so big deal. I want to acknowledge and celebrate her. I know we have a couple more cappers for October, so I'm excited to announce that next month. And yeah, that's what we've been up to.
That's amazing, Jen. I love seeing 18 deals that are closed. Like that's business that people were working on, months ago, and they're reaping the rewards of that right now. And
yeah.
As we all know, deals that you're writing today, that's the stuff that's going to pay out for you over the next couple of months. So looks like a few people are going to have some awesome ends of the year, and finish strong. And that's exactly what Marvin's going to talk to us today about too, is finishing strong as well with the brokers numbers. But kudos to everybody in the coaching program. Jen, that is how people get a hold of you, correct?
That is correct. Yep. Yep. Email, text message, Facebook, Instagram, whatever works for you. You can find me somewhere and I'll get back to you.
Awesome. And I want to remind everybody too, and Jen, this program, albeit we started off as, this is a great program for brand new realtors or realtors that want to really hit the ground running, we should say. But more importantly, over the last month, Jen and her team has launched a new program. You want to touch on that just quickly, Jen?
Yeah, so we've launched the intermediate program as of the last sales meeting, and we're kind of getting that up and running. We got a couple of agents in there now.
Yeah,
And then
great, if you have time.
we also have the advanced coaching. And so what's been really cool about that is as that's been growing and agents are talking about it and sharing stories with each other, in the last couple of weeks, we've added 4 new agents from the brokerage just into the advanced coaching program. And that's over a two-week window. So the advanced program is for the agents that are, capping and above, but they want to implement more systems, more structure, and start putting in the foundation to grow their business towards a team model, or just to have a more structured single agent model where they can have an administrator and they can run their business at a higher leverage and level and leverage some of their time. So as that's been up and running a little longer now, we're getting traction on that. So it's pretty cool to see that, a lot of agents who are some of, the agents that I know people in our office look up to are coming into that coaching program as well. And I love it because I know a lot of them and I get to coach them, and it's pretty cool to see them and watch them develop their business that way.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Jen. And kudos to everybody that's taken action and are in that coaching program. I urge you, if you're kind of on the fence or not sure what your next move is, reach out and talk to Jen, because I know just through all the people that come through my office to say, and really to say they owe everything of their business to Jen's program and what they're doing there. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, Melissa, love my coach, Jen, Melissa Taylor. I see that in the comments, Melissa. Fantastic. Good. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate everything that you're doing there.
No problem.
Okay, moving on. We've had a number of people join Keller Williams over the last month or a couple of weeks. So I wanted to certainly reach out a warm welcome to you, and so does Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Ho, Aileen, Sam, Mylin, who came back to us from EXP, Emma, Jason, and Haley. Congratulations. We look forward to being in business with you for many years to come, and supporting you in your business and watching your business grow here too. And you can see right there, right beside it, those are the people that had a say or an influence on the people that just joined our brokerage, and they're certainly growing their profit share that way. So speaking of profit share, I wanted to share this number. This is pretty amazing. Year-to-date numbers, almost $152,000 has the owner of our company, Marvin Alexander, has shared with all of these names on the screen here, and you can do so too. If your name's not on here, reach out and talk to me, and I can show you a plan on how to make that happen. And the 21st of every month, I posted it yesterday, Keller Williams International pays out profit share, and a lot of us got money deposited into our bank accounts, really for introducing people to Keller Williams. That to me is a pretty cool thing. And it's obviously one way that we can grow our company. And what we say, if you have a great experience, you want to share that experience. I know I was sharing an experience the other day. One of the best burgers in town, in the town of Stouffville, is Zeal Burgers. And I tell people about it, and it's a great experience. You have that, I'm sure you do have that same experience with Keller Williams Realty Centers. You want to share it. You want to share your great experience. That's what you're doing. And you're sharing the great experience that you're having. And it's a way to grow your profit share as well, and put money in your bank account for that long-term wealth and creating that legacy. So kudos to the people that are taking action and doing that. And there's a lot more to come, I can tell you, for sure. Very good. Okay, I'm going to invite Mary. I see Mary on the screen there to unmute her mic. And she, as I said, she's going to talk to us about cyber safety and how we can, or what we need to do with that. So Mary, it's all yours.
Okay, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, so October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So I wanted to take some time today to share some best practices with you so that you can keep yourself safe from any potential hacks or disruptions to your business because of cyber threats. So you may or may not know, but email is not a secure way to transfer information between people. Once your email is sent, it leaves your server and goes to other servers before it reaches its intended recipient, meaning that it is completely out there and open for anybody to take your information. So be aware of that. When it comes to email, don't click on unknown attachments or links. Doing so can download malware onto your computer and leave you susceptible. Use encrypted email, a transaction management platform, or a document sharing program in order to share sensitive information. Carefully guard your login and access credentials to email and other programs used in any transaction. Regularly purge your email account and archive your important emails in a secure location. This one makes me crazy. I need everybody to please use smart and safe passwords. So long, complicated passwords, such as phrases, a combination of letters, symbols, and numbers. Definitely don't use password, don't use I love you, don't use I love KWRC. Those passwords can be hacked within seconds or instantly. So you may want to consider using a password manager. Personally, I use LastPass. It is seamless across my computer, my tablet, my phone, everywhere. Use two-factor authentication when you can. So two-factor authentication is when you're logging in somewhere, you can also have it send a message to your phone and then you put that number in so that it's a way to confirm that it's really you. Avoid doing business over public unsecured Wi-Fi. So if you're at Starbucks or something like that, don't log into your bank, don't log into anywhere where people can track that. These are really easy tips that you can follow, and they're going to keep you safe. You may also want to consider keeping your data safe at home by changing your factory set password on your wireless router. Do this every once in a while, because anything that you do from there, if that password isn't safe and changed regularly, could be jeopardized. Keep just regular good hints. Keep your antivirus software and firewalls up to date and active. Keep your operating system and programs patched and up to date. You'll get regular emails to do this. Make sure that you do it. Regularly back up your critical data, application systems, anything to protect yourself in case something happens. You don't want to lose all your data, everything that you have. Don't download apps without verifying that they're legitimate, so they don't install malware or any kind of breach of privacy. And don't click on links in texts from unknown senders. If anybody has any questions about cybersecurity or safety in general, I'm always here. I'm always available. And just a shout out to those people who have reached out to me and reached out to other agents to keep themselves safe when they're going to meet people. I try to post that when it happens because it's really important. So that's my safety update.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mary, and we love Mary for many things. Obviously, she's a fantastic graphic designer and brander, but she also is very, very passionate about realtor safety, and she has our back there, I can assure you. So thanks for everything that you're doing, Mary. And yeah, I put LastPass. I put that in the chat box there. I use it too. It's fantastic. It's good. And we all now know Colin's password: 123 password 321. He thought he was smart, but but we got you. We're on to you, Colin. We're on to you. Very good. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. All right. As I was saying, PricewaterhouseCooper from time to time will provide reports in the real estate industry and many other industries as well. And for those of you that attended my real estate investment seminars, every month I would do a market mashup, if you will, or take a report like this and kind of break it down, give you the Coles notes of what I thought was important. And I got to tell you, I miss doing that kind of thing. So this was fun for me to read through this and pull out some of the highlights. But what they did, they went in and interviewed approximately 3,500 industry leaders, everyone from big real estate corporations to REITs, so investment trusts. They did, of course, big companies like RioCan and so forth. And they were just trying to understand the mindset of what they're doing and how it's affecting the real estate market and how over the last year has affected their decisions. Regardless if we went through COVID or not, they would have done this. The fact that they did it and it was just published on the 15th is really relevant to our industry here. So take a look at it, and if you wanted to download it, you can certainly download it. It's at pwc.com. You can certainly go look at it there. And again, they have many other reports that for some you find that stuff kind of interesting. So I'm going to kind of give you the highlights. I'll spend about 7 or so minutes giving you the highlights, and this is what they've asked in the survey that they did. So a lot of the big organizations are reimagining their portfolios to succeed in this uncertainty. So what does that look like to them? And they started asking those questions. And as you can see here, the question on the screen: how can investors reposition asset for today's accelerating trends? Regardless of what we're going through with COVID, they were asking these questions anyways. And it's always good to understand where the big financial institutions are going, because they kind of steer the ship, and we can certainly pick up some good hints from where they're going. The thing that I loved with it is we are in a time of price discovery. I love that line, because right now we are in a time of price discovery, and you can almost argue we're always in that, but we are really looking for ways that we can leverage our knowledge and help our clients, and certainly, steer them in the right direction. And our job as realtors is provide them with enough information that they can make a sound decision on what their next move is. And some of the things that they're looking at are this. Some of the larger institutions are looking at alternative opportunities. So perhaps if they were already investing in large complexes, now they're starting to look at single family rentals, which is really interesting, because it takes a lot of work to buy 15 single family homes and use those as rentals, but they're just looking at different ways to create that income and to create that wealth. Another opportunity that they see is obviously life sciences. We are still an aging population, and we know that opportunity has been out there. Whether Marvin and I were in a conversation just yesterday about the opportunity for assisted living homes or retirement homes and that sort of thing. So they're certainly looking to move some of those funds that way. And this has been kind of a hot topic for the last couple of years. You can see there the self-storage facilities. Usually self-storage facilities are the best type of tenants, because you don't have to deal with them on a day-to-day basis. But that's certainly an opportunity that they're looking at. And I can tell you, just think of our daily lives. We have so much stuff that I know many people that actually use self-storage to store some of their stuff. And we are a society that obtains things, and we are utilizing self-storage. I know one of my dad's closest friends, he has 3 facilities, and he's always looking to acquire more for self-storage. So that's another opportunity that they're looking at. You might ask, well, how does that affect me? Well, look at these things and look for the opportunities on what the big financial institutions are doing, because it might be a shift in the market, or it could also be a shift in location. And if you're working with investors, definitely, if you see something happen like that, and the ripple effect is maybe you can pick up a property that's not too far from one of these locations as well. Niche sectors. Let me move this. I got this all hidden here. Well, you can see the quote on here. This is no different. The large companies are looking to create a niche and looking to set themselves apart. This is no different than what we say to our realtors. What is your niche? How can you set yourself apart? And even though this might be a multi-million or billion-dollar corporation, they are also looking to set themselves apart. So that should be a good clue for us to be following the same strategy. You know, for me, as many of you know, I started, you know, my real estate career investing in real estate, and that was my niche. I pulled in a lot of clients that way and was able to evolve later. But for some of you, maybe you are still looking for that niche, and there's some look for opportunities and what's around you for sure. This one, we've experienced this as a brokerage and seeing it firsthand, staying ahead of the evolving real estate customer. We know that our clients are more and more educated than they were even a year ago, let alone 5 or 10 or 15 years ago. And this is the same thing that the larger corporations are doing as well. They are adapting, they're changing their mindset, more importantly, and they're moving with the market, and they're also leading the market as well. This is really cool. So a new chapter of urban real estate, home comfort over city location. People are looking for the live, work, play in smaller urban centers. And I can tell you from a few friends of mine that their companies had large leases downtown. Those leases expired over the last couple of months in some of the office buildings, and they realized they didn't necessarily need that office space. What they have done is adapted and encouraged their employees to work from home. And we're obviously seeing that. And there's going to be some neat trends here that I'll share with you in just the next couple of slides of what that looks like and how developers are looking at that as an opportunity in some of these urban areas. Okay, key shifts in 2020 and coming up. 18-hour cities. This might be a new term for some of you. However, really what it boils down to is having the amenities within your town and being able to get into the larger city centers if need be, but being there and having all of those amenities. The other one is transit-oriented communities. So we've seen Newmarket over the last 10 years, for instance, have that transformation, whether it be over the Davis Drive and the Yonge Street corridor. People are looking for suburban areas, if you will, that are still very well connected to the city centers, like a Beyor is now to the downtown with the GO train station and stuff like that. The other is the 15-minute cities, so even smaller cities. Although what this means is, the concept is somebody should be able to walk from their house, and it should take them no longer than 15 minutes to get everything that they need. So this is what people are being drawn to. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the downtown core. It could be in a place just like Newmarket here or Beyor, and they want to be able to walk or ride their bike, if you will, and be able to get everything that they need, from groceries to doctors and things like that. So if that's a trend, perhaps that's what you start helping your buyers look for opportunities like that, or investment properties that way. So keep that in mind as well. So taxes, and this is a big topic right now. How are we going to pay for everything that just happened during COVID, and taxes and land transfer fees and levies? So here are my thoughts on it. and this is how I see it. Sure, we're gonna have to pay for this bill some way, but the comment has been, you know, are we going to, for instance, are they going to impose a tax on our personal residence, a capital gains tax, if you will, if I'm to be specific? And I actually don't think they will, because our research and the research that Toronto Real Estate Board has done over the last couple of years will show that every real estate transaction actually infuses approximately $60,000 into the local economy. I've used that number a number of times. That's $60,000 into the local economy for every time a home is sold. So where's that money go into? Well, that goes into, you can just think about it. Obviously it goes to some of the closing fees, but more importantly, it's going to renovations and the local hardware stores. It's hiring trades and all sorts of stuff. And if they impose, my thought is, if they impose some sort of capital gain tax on your personal real estate, we'll see less transactions. That's my initial thought. We'll see less of that money going into the market. So when homes do sell, that's the bump that the local economy gets. It's a great thing. That's the positive of it, because we all know when homes sell, people want to update them. And it's our job, I truly believe, as realtors, to help steer that ship, if you will, and to provide opportunities for your buyers and your sellers. And trades, you can be that one-stop shop, and people, you have influence. People will listen to you. If you have a great contractor, a painter, what have you, they want that service. So this is a great way for you to provide that service. Shifting landscape for prop tech. And we'll just kind of finish off in this slide, or this next couple of slides here. Prop tech, what is that? That is the technology behind real estate. That's a fast way to explain it. And we've seen everything from, even in our world at Keller Williams, Command being introduced, and the involvement there, or how that's evolved into a really powerful tool. And companies are looking at that on how they can add value to their investors, their partners, and how they can add value to, obviously, their end users. And that's a big piece of it. I love this quote that came up through it. Technology has been accelerated by a decade, really over the last 9 or so months. We've been forced to use it, and I think in a good way. And we've seen agents get so creative we know that open houses, for instance, we can't host open houses now. We've gone to the digital and virtual world. That, to me, hosting a virtual open house, that's the easy thing, right? That's the easy thing. What I want to see, what I'm asking is, okay, how can we make that even better? How do we make that experience so different from the next person? And that's where I think we can stand out from the crowd for sure. Key areas of properties. Okay, so this is what some of those big companies are looking at. They're looking at, obviously, solutions for business continuity, customer engagement and sales, tools to manage cost and efficiencies, and construction technology. The last one here is upskilling for the future, meaning, obviously, over the last year or so, we've had to up our level right here, even in our own office, our own brokerage. The things that we're doing from a digital perspective or a computer's perspective, we had to get better at. And the faster that we do that, the faster that you do that as a realtor, I can tell you, you're going to build your business with a fantastic foundation. Not to say that everything has to be faster, but with the key pieces to hold your business up for a long time to come. Okay, quickly here, offices. We've seen, I'm going to skip through some of these slides because we're moving on, and these slides will be available for download. But I can tell you some of the different areas of the commercial real estate has really shifted, and some of the opportunities are now showing up in different areas. And my brother-in-law, in fact, he's a regional director for RioCan, and I was having a chat with him, and this is really interesting. I said, I said to him, how are your companies doing that lease space for you? You have a lot of space across Canada. And he said, you know what, Gary, we are very fortunate because we were very selective years ago on the type of tenants that we brought in. Of course, if you think about it, in RioCan, they have a lot of the big anchor tenants, which are all service providers. And that's how he explained it to me. So grocery stores, whether it's medical offices or your Shopper Drug Mart type places, it's stores that people have to come because that's a necessity to keep on living, if you will. And I thought it was really, really interesting. The other opportunity that we're seeing, and this, I'm going to kind of skip towards that. Actually, I'm going to hold that comment for the next slide here. That's what I'm going to do. The condominium market, we know in some areas like the downtown core may not be moving as fast as it once was. And now developers are having this conversation. This is the part that I think is the really uniqueness and positive out of it is obviously more people are working from home or working remotely, and they wanted more space, or they want more space. That's why they're coming up to areas like this. And here's what developers are starting to how they are starting to rethink. Perhaps they start making larger condos, or condos that are more suited for the work at home environment. And to me, that's really creative. I don't think we're going to see that not only in condos, but we're going to see that in your single family homes as well, where there is more of a home office on the main floor or second floor. So you're not stuck in your basement. So look for some new designs and things like that. The other exciting thing is, it's definitely here in the Newmarket area, there's still a lack of rentals, especially purpose built. So if you've been following along with John Taylor, who's our mayor in Newmarket, we're having our third purpose built apartment building here in the last few years, just off of Davis. And that is good news, because that's going to encourage more people to move to the area, more people for us to help and to provide service to, for sure. Okay, so what's the best bets? This is what I was holding my comment for. Warehousing and fulfillment. That's where some of these larger portfolios are looking to shift. Think about how many times you've ordered from Amazon over the last 6 months. This office, I can tell you, this office, Amazon shows up at this office every day from somebody ordering stuff. So if you hear or you get wind of a new fulfillment facility coming into an area, perhaps that's an area that if you're working with investors that you want to buy near, because obviously they're going to need employers there, right? So that could be an opportunity. Multifamily residential. This is a neat one. So back to my brother-in-law at RioCan, they have lots of space and they have lots of airspace above a lot of their buildings, and they're thinking, how can they repurpose some of their facilities to best use? We're always talking about best use, and they are looking at adding a residential component to their portfolio with their current buildings, which is really unique. Which is really unique. Of course, medical offices. This is another opportunity in the future over the next year or so that they'll be looking at. That's PricewaterhouseCoopers. Tremendous amount of information. I just did some highlights of it. When you have companies like this, researchers like this, it's important to kind of skim through and take some of those notes, because when you are talking to your clients, you can speak from a position of experience and also of value when you're especially working with different investors, or you're looking at different areas or different types of homes. Here's where you can download it. It's right on their homepage at pwc.com. Emerging Trends in Real Estate for 2021. Lots of great reports there. Take a look at it, or wait for me once a year or so to kind of give you the Coles notes of it. But I will tell you this. The times that I do go research this kind of stuff and I kind of have it in my brain, and I think to myself, why do I have it there? It'll be days or weeks later, I'll be in a conversation and it'll be so relevant to that conversation, and I can add value to that conversation, especially when I'm talking to a client, and it can certainly solidify that relationship in many, many ways. So take the time, read through it, and that's from obviously that's from PwC there. Very good. Moving on. Okay, I'm going to invite Charity to come on the screen with us and to unmute your mic. So of course, Charity with Hometime Financial, and she is our preferred mortgage broker and her team. And we're really excited to be partnering with her, and we're starting to see that partnership flourish. And if you haven't reached out to her, please reach out to her. Charity, you on the call with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. That's
Great.
all yours.
Wonderful. Well, I want to start off and actually say thank you so much for the warm welcome. We've had a lot of agents that have accepted our offer to reach out to us and let us help you, and basically help guide you and get your clients pre-approved. Many new agents have reached out. We've been giving out information packages. We've made basically a realtor package to teach you what we can do for you. It's kind of a step-by-step guide. So if you're interested in one of those, please let us know and we can get one out to you. We also have them a hard copy so you can come and pick one up. There's three things I'm going to touch on today. and I'm going to try to touch on them quickly and not get too mathematical. If you want the math behind what I'm saying, please reach out to me and I will break it down individually for you. So the first thing I want to really express to you is that I know that we hear often from our clients as realtors that they're pre-approved at the bank or that they're working with their bank. And I went over last time about the difference between a pre-qualification with a bank versus a pre-approval with us, where we're doing the due diligence. But further on in saying that, what if I were to tell you that even imagine that the bank had done exactly what we did, with look at all the paperwork and look at the numbers that the client could qualify for, but I could tell your clients that they could qualify for $100,000 more buying power than their bank told them. And the truth of the matter is that we can do this. We have products available, cashback products from the monolender side, which allow us to effectively eliminate debts on the client's credit bureau that is leveraging against their buying power. So for example, a car loan, a visa, student lines of credit. For easy math, let's say that that is running us at a $450 a month payment. We can do a 3% cash back on a $500,000 mortgage, which can eliminate all of that debt and effectively give the client another $100,000 buying power. So their bank says to them, you're pre-approved for $500,000, and by me applying this product that we have, I can suddenly pre-approve them for $600,000. Not only that, I can eliminate all of their debts, not all of them, but in that formula, those debts. So the cash flow that these people are going to have now, suddenly that they were paying $300 to Visa, $283 to MasterCard, and $200 to a car payment, they now will have none of those payments. And effectively, again, I have an amortization schedule where I can show you that the client is actually yielding more money in the end. The rate is only slightly higher, and we've gotten rid of all of their debt, and now they can buy a home for much more than they could have before. When you go in for a consultation with the bank and they sit down, they don't look at the math on this way and offer these solutions. If your client says to you, I'm pre-approved at the bank, that's great, but you're doing them a disjustice to not connect them with a mortgage broker. And again, obviously I would love it to be us, but the things that the lenders are coming up with on the mono lender channel to really help work with the times right now, because it is getting harder for buyers to qualify for mortgages based on the government's guidelines, and of course as the buying cost of living is going up. So there's one thing I wanted to mention with our cashbacks that we can do to drastically increase the client's buying power and pre-approval amount. Two is we have purchase plus improvement programs where you're taking clients that kind of are first-time home buyers, and they're looking at a home that, because of the price point, isn't necessarily up to par with what they really want their home to be. We are able to build in the cost of doing renovations to that home to get it up to par so that it can be a nicer home than their starter home that they're buying. And we can build the cost of these renovations into the mortgage for the exact lending price that their mortgage is at. And again, when we meet with our buyers, we ask, what are your goals? What are you looking to do? And they possibly, again, we'll get calls saying, well, the house is okay, but at this buying point, it needs all this work. Well, we can help you finance that work. So that's the second product that I want to mention, that especially right now with the struggles of entry-level homes, that clients are not wanting to buy them because they don't have the money to do the work. And of course, they can't afford something that maybe already has had the work. So we can show them these programs where they can buy that home and get it to the living conditions that they want it to be, and it not cost them anything more. That's two. And then the third product I want to mention is we have a lender that has recently come out with a product that is specifically designed for realtors and their mortgages. And this is really key, guys. I don't know, some of you maybe haven't even bought your first home, maybe you're a year or two into business. This particular lender is allowing us to use your year-to-date income. Normally with a real estate agent, we use a 2-year average combined. This is an alternate lender, so they are allowing, you have to have the 20% down, but they're only looking at your year-to-date income for this year. So if you've had a phenomenal year this year, we can look at your gross income to date. So in having said that, last year you may have written off much of your money, not thinking that maybe you were ready to buy yet, and had saved that money. Well, we can not only use your year-to-date commission, they're asking for no tax documents. So they don't want to see your NOA from last year. They don't want to see your line 150, and they are not asking for your HST. So this is the opportunity for you, if you are a realtor and you have money saved and you've had a good year, to talk to us about possibly getting yourself your house, whether that be the house that you want to buy now to live in, or just an investment property, because they've introduced this program and this product, and it's phenomenal. Never before have we been able to, on this side, just use where we're at. And again, they're kind of using the opposite side of, turning a benefit into COVID, because a lot of realtors have had really great years. So please reach out to speak to us. And also with the fact that I know there's all this information coming out about you guys being able to incorporate. So if you're looking to buy and you're thinking of buying, this is another wonderful time to take advantage of this program in buying your home before possibly you incorporate, depending on your income. And of course, that's case by case. And I'm happy to look at that for you and explain to you and show you how that works in your favor. So those are the three wonderful products that I want you guys to know about, that are all like amazing for the ending this year strong, and offering you things that maybe you didn't know that you could have, that we can do to help you.
Love it, Charity. I have one question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Good, because I'm going to ask it anyways.
Of course, please do.
I've used the Purchase Plus improvements in the past. That product, amazing product. I love it. And I use it for an investment property. Is it still available for investment properties?
It is still available for investment properties. The thing about it is that in terms of the investment property, though, with an investment property, you need to at least put 20% down. So people get confused in the fact that they're putting 20% down if it's an actual investment property, meaning it's being rented out, and you still have to pay the premium on that because it is an insured Purchase Plus improvement product. So you will have a CMHC fee attached to it to qualify for the product.
Right. Right. Still a fantastic opportunity for leveraging the bank, your biggest partner in any property purchase. That is a great product. So again, if you have questions for Charity and her team, ask away. And
last thing is, Gary, sorry to interrupt you in closing with what I wanted to say is that, again, I'm sure you're hearing it everywhere. Rates are at historical lows, like the lowest, like we're almost giving the money away at this point. And so again, you have your buyer saying, oh, we want to wait to see what the market's doing. Well, I mean, you're waiting and missing an opportunity to secure these rates for the possibility of a 5-year term at, our AAA rates are in and around 1.5% right now. That realtor product that I was mentioning, even though it's an alternate lending product, it starts at 2.99. These rates are incredible. So when you're looking at the buying power of the affordability, when we have these rates, I mean, you cannot even rent a home when we're running the comparisons for the cost that you can get these mortgages and carry them.
Good stuff. I think we can all agree that not every homeowner is ready to sell their house, right? We can all agree with that. However, there's another call that could be made. And I know some of you guys do this, but our jobs as realtors is to put the information and educate and create relationships with people and clients, obviously. And some of the information that Charity just shared with us could be so valuable to your clients. And it moving now may not be in their best interest or not even remotely close to what they're doing, but there's always an opportunity to perhaps refinance, get a home equity line of credit, maybe set themselves up for a future purchase, all that kind of stuff that Charity can help you with. And really what you're doing is you're creating a client for life when you start adding value to them like this. So reach out, reach out to your clients and share with them some of the info that Charity just shared, because I'll guarantee you, they won't know unless they are actively in the process of refinancing or looking to purchase something. They won't really know what's going on, and perhaps you can help save them from even a 3.5%, which is so cheap to be when you think about it. But if you can get them down to below 3 or 2.5 or whatever, that can mean the world to a lot of people. So
For sure.
that's a great phone call to have. Charity,
Okay,
thank
Gary,
you.
I got to interrupt for a sec. Gary, I got to interrupt. So I have to complain about Charity because ever since she announced the Realtor product, we've had 50 people leave the call, and I can see them pulling out in front of the New Market office, lining up to get their financing in order.
And so they should be, though.
And
Like,
so
it's
they should be.
incredible.
But putting kidding aside, and I think they should be, you're right. To Gary's point, so I know when I was starting out, and then even into my early years, you know, even as a realtor on my own, I was managing with one assistant between 100 and 200 transactions a year. And part of what I did was exactly what Gary just said. If there's a product like that, like the people that wait until they have a buyer to send them to a mortgage broker you're missing the point. When you get information like this, now you should be on the phone to your clients and saying, I've got something for you to consider. You might not have even thought about buying up or the ability to buy up, and maybe they don't even buy from you. But if they can use this refinancing opportunity to better their lives, they're going to remember you. And I have a feeling they're going to refer you to other people too. So don't just think of the opportunity to have the talented team that we have in front of us only available to you when you have a buyer. You should be utilizing this information every month to now get on the phones, start emailing, contacting your people, and turning it into business. I promise you it's going to work 100%.
You're right. It's so true. But we're here to help in any way we can. So please, you know, pass along our number. You have our email. You can phone us, call us, text us. We reply to all of it.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. Thank you, Charity. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Marvin, I'm going to hand over to you, and we're going to talk about personal real estate corporations and a quick update there on where we're at as a brokerage and how we're moving forward.
Sure. Well, thank you, Gary. And as you alluded to earlier, I did what I thought was going to be a very quick snippet on personal real estate corporations. And there were so many questions that we actually, at the end of the Zoom team meeting, we said anybody that wants to stay on can stay on, and virtually nobody left. So it was another hour of questions back and forth. But here's what I basically said, which I guess prompted all of the interest in
Did we lose Marvin? Or is it my computer? Give me a thumbs up if everyone can hear me. Thumbs up. I almost got a thumb down from Christine. Okay. We'll get Marvin back on here. Here, I'm going to share my slide while we're doing this. And this again, oops, wrong thing. We'll get I'm sure Marvin's probably in one of the best descriptions about personal real estate corporations ever. Well, we'll get them on here in a second. This is a great resource. So here's the resource page from our website. If you have, if you want to learn more about personal real estate corporations, certainly start. I would start here, start asking some questions. And while I'm talking here, Christine, maybe you can just let Marvin know through text that we lost his feed. Thank you. And so there's a lot of work that we have to do, a lot of research that we have to do in the background. I think this is where Marvin was saying. And so we are prepared as a brokerage to move forward.
back at it, Gary.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, Marv, take it away.
I was going to do a joke, and I was going to say, and that's the important stuff that I'll never repeat again that you need to know. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. Obviously, it's bandwidth stuff, and we froze. So, so what I was saying was that in the personal real estate corporation overview that I gave yesterday for Ottawa, what ended up happening was anybody that wanted to stay on to ask questions could, and almost everybody stayed on. So we had another hour of Q&A. But here's what you have to know about a personal real estate corporation. They're not all the same. In other words, what might work for you or may not work for your buddy. So it's not a question of finding out what they did and replicating it. Everybody is in a different place in their life. So that's the first thing you need to know. The second thing is a personal real estate corporation is not for everybody necessarily. And there's lots of different things you can do with a personal real estate corporation. So to clarify for you how it works, basically, it's a corporation that you're going to incorporate. You're going to file annual corporate taxes for this personal real estate corporation. You're going to be giving us a direction as an independent contractor saying, don't pay me any longer, pay to my personal real estate corporation the money as it comes in. So that's how it generally works. Now, the makeup of the personal real estate corporation is very interesting. It could be just you. It could be you and a spouse. You could have adult children that hold shares. You could actually incorporate two corporations at once, which is very advantageous. You can incorporate a holding company or a management company that holds shares in your personal real estate corporation. And the advantage of doing something like that is they would typically have offsetting year ends. So let's say, for example, your personal real estate corporation had December 31st year end, and this holding company or management company that holds shares in your PREC has, let's say, a May 31st year end. When you are the director of two interrelated corporations, you can actually transfer funds back and forth. So income and expenses. Now, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm telling you what I know and what works for me, but you need to get independent professional advice in those two areas. So now all of a sudden you can actually, with staggered year ends, move money back and forth, move expenditures back and forth lawfully. And that holding company can do things like acquire properties, second mortgages, have its own set of expenditures, as will the PREC and as will you as an independent contractor. So the thing you have to understand is if all the money goes into this PREC, you have to get some money out to live on. And there's only two ways to take it out, either through a salary or through a dividend. So if you're in the position where you live on every single dollar that you have right now, maybe a PREC's not for you, because the advantage comes with leaving some money in the PREC and doing other things with it. Having said that, if you need some form of forced savings, this would be a good way to do it, because you're going to be forced to take money out as you need it only, and hopefully leave money in there to do other investments. So it can be a wonderful opportunity, but you need the advice of a great accountant and a great lawyer when you're compiling this. I think, Gary, you were going to the slide that showed how we're going to pay out and what we're in the process of doing. Is that correct?
Yeah, the slide was actually in reference to our resource page on our website. So I didn't have the next steps on how we're rolling out the pay, what you just described there. So
yeah, so essentially here we are. Okay, so what's going to happen is there's inevitably going to be our standard RICO audits. They come in, every couple of years, whatever it may be, and likely more frequently as a result of the introduction of a personal real estate corporation. And what they're going to be doing is looking at the closing date of a transaction and the incorporation date of a PREC. And so what we're looking to do is we're in the process of gathering our paperwork right now to be RICO compliant, CRA compliant, to make sure it's good for all of you. Make sure it's fair for the brokerage too, of course, to make sure that we're all covered. But anybody that has a personal real estate corporation that's incorporated, let's say as of today, even if we're not ready with our paperwork, if you give us a direction to hold the funds for any closings you have that close on the day that you've been incorporated as a PREC or after, we'll hold them. And then in a few days when our paperwork is finished, we will pay you into your PREC. What we won't do is hold closings for you as an independent contractor that close when you're an independent contractor when your PREC was not yet incorporated. Because what will definitely happen is when RICO comes in, our governing body, we're going to cross-reference the closing date with who we paid. So if we had a closing date when your PREC was incorporated afterwards and we paid your PREC, we're going to have a fine. You're going to have a fine. So we're always going to go, that's going to be the determining factor. And quite honestly, we're a little bit more aggressive than other companies that are saying if it was written while you're an independent contractor, we're going to pay you as an independent contractor. Our argument is we're going by the closing date. So it's a lot more lenient for you in your favor. So that's it on personal real estate corporations, Garrett.
Fantastic. And it is something that we are, as a broker, is extremely excited about to support our agents in that regard, because we know it is a great wealth creation opportunity, and we want to see, that's what we're here for. And we want to support our agents in doing that and helping that legacy be built and passed on to obviously many generations to come. But this is a huge step forward in creating that opportunity. So
well,
kudos for everybody for taking action.
To note too, Gary, sorry, one more thing, because there was a question from Michael, is that I plan to have the draft of all the paperwork to our lawyers and our accountants by the end of the day tomorrow. So it would be early next week when we'll be able to roll this out. So that's kind of our timing, because it's a lot of information to gather, and there's still some governmental, you're welcome, information coming in. So we're almost there. We're pretty close. And we'll make sure that we roll it out correctly so that nobody will have a problem.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is a great opportunity. As I said, this is something that we are embracing as a huge value to not only the brokerage, but more importantly, you as the agent, for sure. So good stuff. Marvin, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, let's, I'm going to share my screen once again, and we're going to do our top three for the month here. And again, this is a way to highlight our agents that are doing some exceptional business and some really awesome things in the real estate industry. And the first one that we're looking at is closed units for the top three individuals. And we have Dina Marderos and Marion Carconi, John Brock, and Michelle Terzis. Congratulations. Again, that's closed units for the month of September. Moving forward, written volume. And Marvin will tell us written volume. This is the indicator of what our business is going to look like in a couple of months from now on the closed end. So how we're going to get paid. Wasim Jarrah, congratulations. Kate Carconi this time, and Stuart Madden. Congratulations to the three of you. Same categories, closed unit for the top partnerships, or our partners, as you will. Kirby Chan and Company, Blaha and Booten team, and the Campbell Real Estate team. Congratulations for units closed in the month of September. And for written volume, we've got the Campbell Real Estate team, Kirby Chan and Co., and the Blaha Booten team. Well done. Well done. Moving ahead to our teams, or our groups, as you will, for closed units. Volpe Alcorn team, congratulations. The Paroff team, congratulations. And the Terry Hastings team. All of you are increasing your businesses from last year. This is fantastic, fantastic stuff. Written volume. We have, in different order this time, the Michael Tuff team, Paroff team, and the Terry Hastings team. Congratulations. Again, we are seeing some tremendous numbers, and Marvel touch on that towards the end here. And this is congratulations to you and to the many others that had exceptional month of September, for sure. Broker bits, our favorite. Okay, here we go. Christine, if you're ready, and unmute your mic, and you'll prompt me when to move the slides, and I'll hand it over to our broker of record, Christine Tonis.
Hi, everyone. So, Marvin has said time and time again that out of diversity comes opportunity, and this is certainly one of those things. So back in 2017, we saw some trends happening, and this is kind of the advantage of being part of a big brokerage, is we see trends far in advance of, the market sort of showing it, or it's showing up, in fact, in your own business. And this is what we like to talk about. So in 2017, we chose to bind buyers because this is what we were seeing. We were seeing that as the market dove at the end of that crazy 2017, buyers were changing out names. So they were they'd take off the original buyer and they'd put in a second buyer. And then what would happen is that second buyer didn't have any money, didn't close the transaction, and there was nobody there to sue. So we chose to bind the original buyer and the subsequent buyer by creating a clause that says something to the effect of, that they had agreed to the terms and conditions of the original agreement of purchase and sale, and we had them initial each page. This is no different. But the circumstance is different. So again, Marvin wrote an article, and we spoke about this months ago, where we're not seeing deposits showing up. So Gary, if you could switch to the first slide, please. So in not seeing deposits show up, again, Marvin had written this fabulous article that was syndicated across many internet things, sorry. And he got thousands and thousands of views. And what he had said was that we needed a way to bind the realtors. So what we found that realtors would be putting in multiple offers on many properties at the same time for their clients. And then they'd pick and choose which one they actually wanted and never show up with a deposit for perhaps one of the ones that we had been a part of. So now what we've also seen is let's start binding the buyers. So if you have a listing and you're in a sign back, this is a great clause. It's
Excuse
constructive.
me, Christine.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a typo. It should say the buyers here, but where it says sellers throughout this, it
Thank
should
you.
say buyers.
Yeah, I'll correct that. Thank you. So the
You're welcome.
buyers hereby covenant that they have not submitted any other offers through any brokerage or other properties that are either currently accepted or irrevocable for acceptance. And any further they further covenant not to do so during the currency of this offer. The sellers, again, it should be buyers, acknowledge that the deposit is to be promptly delivered to the listing brokerage as per the terms of the agreement of purchase and sale. And in the event of a wire transfer for deposit, the buyers further confirm that the funds are readily available for transfer upon acceptance of this offer. Thank you for catching that, Marvin. So we will have that in broker bits issued to you, and we will also post that in our clauses with the corrections, of course. Next slide, please, Gary. Okay, so coming up, really important, there are two FinTrack issues I want to talk about. One is that we have paid for by the brokerage FinTracker, which is a free app because our brokerage has paid for it. And it will allow you to be compliant. So download it, it's available on the Google Play and the App Store. And in Broker Bits, you'll see there'll be a link to a training video. So I'm going to put that in that for you. You'll be able to see that shortly. So FinTracker, making it really simple to keep you compliant. One of the things that you need to be aware of if you continue to fill out your own FinTrack forms is that you need to fill out every section, A, B, C, D, E. Go through it very carefully. I find that a lot of those sections are missing. FinTrack has huge fines. Please don't do that. So Gary, if you can move on to the next one. The second thing is that you are required to take a FinTrack course every 2 years. So right now, RICO has a course that you can take. If you have not done that in the update, we have supplied you with a course on my KWRC. It's under the broker tab. You need to do that now. And we need to track that you have taken it and that you've answered the questionnaire. So RICO says that it's incumbent upon us not only to create the course, but to monitor it, make sure that you understand it. And so by filling out the questionnaire, we understand that you understand it and we become compliant. That needs to get done. Unfortunately, there'll be consequences for not doing it. You won't be able to trade in real estate. So please get that done as soon as you can. We're going to be reaching out to you in the next few weeks to make sure that you've either taken the course through RICO or you've done this one. And the next slide, please. Top 5. Missing words or feet on the APS or the offer. So please look at that. You're always, gratefully putting in the size of the lot, but very often the word feet is missing. So if you've missed that in an offer you've received or an offer you've written, you have to do an amendment. So don't think that because a deal has closed and the lawyers have approved it or it's gone through, that you're safe. This is one of those things that you need to do because there are repercussions down the line. The second thing is a $15 wire transfer fee. So if your clients are, or your buyers are submitting a deposit to our brokerage, there needs to be an additional $15 charge. And the reason for that is we are a profit share company. So we cannot short the trust fund. So we've given you a grace period. We've talked about this several times. Going forward, we're going to have to be charging your account to recoup those funds in order to be fair to profit share and being compliant with the trust fund. The other thing is, we just talked about that, the incomplete sections on the FinTrack forms. Number 4 is using outdated forms or outdated KWRC schedules. So if you've downloaded and you keep some forms on your desktop, please don't do that. They've been updated. They get updated every 4 to 6 months, not every form, but we need you, it's a RICO requirement that you use updated forms. And last is updating the conditional or firm date. So if you have a transaction that's gone, is at the conditional date, make sure that you let the front desk know to update the MLS system. And next slide, please. So again, here's where to find the wire transfer charges and the wire transfer form. So this is really important. Mary talked about at the beginning of this that email is not safe. And we realized that when our email was being intercepted, or realtors had their email intercepted, and the second email that arrived said, don't wire transfer the money to this account, transfer it to another account. So can you imagine that $100,000 deposit goes missing? So please use this. It's on my KWRC. It's in the corner there with the yellow button. Immediately upon doing that, you'll receive an email and login. You'll be able to do the transfer. And again, remind the cooperating brokerage to include a $15 wire transfer fee. And I believe that's it for me.
Very good. And as a reminder, we got our broker hotline number. We want to remind people to use this. I know a lot of people are, and it's fantastic. And reach out. There's some tremendous experience on this, obviously this council here, and with Christine leading that. And sometimes you just need to talk out your situation. You already know the answer, but you just need to talk it out, and you need that affirmation. That's also what it's there for. Again, thank you, Christine. Thank you for everything that you do for our brokerage, and we are indebted to you in many ways. So thanks again.
My pleasure.
Very, very good. Okay, I'm going to touch on this and just bring this back to, to highlight KW Assist. This was launched last month, and a handful of people are already taking action with KW Assist. Sarah and her team are local here, local to Canada, local to Ontario, if you will, in Ottawa. And again, that is a program that can support you in your business. Everything from loading your listings, submitting the paperwork to the brokerage here, preparing paperwork for your clients. Perhaps it's managing your email inbox, or maybe it's even you have an assistant and there's some other duties that that they need to leverage out as well. This is a great way to leverage that. Perhaps you have an assistant and they're going away on vacation and you're thinking, I don't want to do this for a week. What do I do? This is another great opportunity for a highly trained company to step in and really not let you slow down. In fact, help you speed up and become much more efficient, and really allow you to work on the things that matter most, like talking to clients. So KW Assist, reach out to them. You go to this website here, the address there, and fill in your information. They'll do an initial consult to obviously see where your needs are. And even if you don't have any needs today, I suggest, I know Marvin said it last month, really go create your account now, because it's the time when you need it that they can't move because you haven't created that account and onboarded you. But if they've already gone through that onboarding process and you have some work coming up in the next couple of months, this is a great way to leverage that. And as I said, work on the things that you're good at, like selling and buying properties and talking to clients, that sort of thing. KWAssist.com.
Gary, can I interject for a sec? Would you mind? Can I just jump in?
Absolutely.
So you said it perfectly well. A couple of things that I would add are, if you intend on hiring an assistant and you want to have that person trained, they will do that as well. So it takes a lot of time, as many of you know, to go through the training process. So that's one thing. The second thing I would say is we've had one instance where somebody went to use them and they didn't realize that they have to register first. So again, to Gary's point, we don't want you to wait until the last minute. You're in a frenzy, you need them, and you try to get a hold of them and they're not being responsive because you've never registered. So there's no reason for everyone not to register from now. It doesn't cost you anything. It's all a la carte. It's on a per minute basis, and it's very reasonable. And the third thing I would add is they're very fluent with KW Command. They can load listings, they can dump clients in, they can do your database management, whatever you need. And they can write offers, but obviously you need to check those offers. Christine gave me the hairy eyeball there for a sec. but all that stuff is available to you. And I think we're the only ones that have it. It's proprietary to us. They're English speaking, our time zone. There's a team of 13. And you can even take it to the next level and actually have a dedicated assistant if you wish through them. So it's a great program that, quite frankly, I would think a good chunk of our realtors should be on.
Fantastic. Thanks, Marvin. Good. And I believe you are up next with.
It's awesome. There I am, jumping up and down. It's awesome. Okay, look, IMS stats. Woohoo! Before we go through the IMS stats, I have to give everybody a bit of an update. So we're always very transparent, right? So I had a call from the president of, well, I got an email, first of all, then a call from the president of IMS. And we had a conversation yesterday. So when I log on to IMS as a paid user, there's a whole terms of use. I read through the terms of use, I click agree. So there's a few things you're not supposed to do with these stats as the subscriber. And one of them is not to show any companies in a derogatory light. And I said, I'm not doing that because whether we're first, second, third, I post the stats. Their stats are the stats. But the truth of the matter is he's in a bit of a battle and has been for a number of years with TREB. So what I'm investigating this week with Gary and with Andrew out in Ottawa will be an enhanced product that's going to be catered just for us and our realtors that will allow us to actually distribute much better graphs that will allow him to be compliant with his TREB arrangement. And it's the only real estate board that's causing him problems. He does this all across North America, but that's what's going on, to be candid. So you will be seeing this change. We did remove the IMS stats from our My KWRC website to be compliant with his request, but I told him that's not going to be forever for me. So we're working on the remedy for that. So in the next 30 days, you're going to see some changes to how the stats are presented. So here we are, Toronto Real Estate Board. I guess it should say TRREB now, so that's my bad. But in the month of September, we are tied for first in terms of productivity per agent. And we've always finished either first or a narrow second, but mostly first in all of TREB in terms of agent productivity. So it just speaks to our training and the culture of our company. So it's pretty exciting. Next slide, Garrett. This one is sold versus asked, and we are killing it this year, averaging 102.22% sold versus asked, first place for all of the Toronto Real Estate Board out of all 60,000 or whatever it is, realtors. Let's take a look at the next one. Here we are, days on market for all of TREB. We are first as well, averaging 16.7 days. This is great stuff. And again, we're going to be putting together a marketing plan that you'll be able to use for your listing presentations and your buyer presentations. All right, let's keep going. In good old Newmarket, we maintain our position of first in terms of market share. I started illustrating this. Oh, by the way, that was all prompted by someone that called, complained anonymously, and then hung up on him. So I've recently started making the chart a little bit more descriptive. I'm not suggesting as one of those people, I don't know who it was, but those are the stats. So you can see a little bit more of a detailed breakdown because we used to get asked, you know, where's Main Street Realty in the whole thing, or Jay Miller or something like that. So I just put them all on there. You can see that we are in first place in market share for Newmarket, almost 20% of the market. So we can say of local companies, 1 out of every 5 listings is sold by us in Newmarket. Next would be sold versus asked, and we are in first place again at 100.33%. So we're averaging better than full price in Newmarket year to date, up to and including September. The next slide is days on market. We are in second place there, averaging 19.1 days to achieve over 100%. And that's for Newmarket year to date. Moving on to Aurora, we have about 20% of the market in Aurora, which is actually very good. So year to date, we're averaging we're at 19.83%, good enough for third spot, certainly closing in on second spot. All we need in Aurora is more realtors. This is agent productivity by units, and that supports that exact statement. We are the most productive on a per agent basis in Aurora and have been now for about the last 2 to maybe close to 3 years. So good stuff there for agent productivity in Aurora. And days on market in Aurora, we're kind of in the middle there at 22 days on the market on average year to date in Aurora. Moving on for Georgina, and I just saw Pierre just lean in there. Pierre's excited about Georgina. Got the blue glasses on, so we're not going to get any reflective issues. We are first, and we have been first ever since we opened up in Georgina in agent productivity by units. Same story in Georgina as it is in Aurora. We just need more agents. And when they look at that, they have to understand that we must be doing something right in order to get that to happen, right? So I'm very pleased with that. Our market share, this is all of Georgina. We used to do Keswick, but now we're doing all of Georgina. So we are third. We're at 11.34%. That would be easily remedied just with more realtors that we can get into our system. So that's where we are in productivity and market share. East Gwillimbury, we are also third, even though we don't actually have an office presence there. We have 11.34% of the market year to date. And productivity on a per agent basis, though, again, we are first. So you're seeing the common thread, no matter where we are in market share, whether we're first, second, or third, our agent productivity has been first in every area. And I think that's an important part of the story. Next slide for me, please, Gary. Okay. Any questions about that, Gary? Are we good on
those stats are good, and we obviously always room for improvement, and that's certainly stuff that we're going to be working on. But before we talk about that with our training, why don't you share with us, some of the stats that you were able to look at over the last couple of days as a brokerage?
Yeah, so you're talking about the signs of excellence?
You got it.
Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people, myself included, I mean, nobody knew what to expect when COVID started. So we did everything we could to pivot, if you will, to safeguard the health of everybody, to safeguard the offices, to systematize the office so that we can transcend to work from home, work in the office, all of those things. And we did a beautiful job. What we didn't know is what was going to happen out in the public's eye. And one of the things that we worked tirelessly on, and we were the innovators for all of Canada, were the COVID-19 forms, as you know. And we made the decision, I think it was the right decision, to share those forms and put it out there through REM so that other brokerages could adopt the exact forms or some hybrid model. And of course, it's morphed down to a one-pager that you click now, but most of those clauses are derived, they're a derivative of what we've done. And we shared that document, those 5 documents at the time, because we knew it was important to keep the real estate market going safely in Canada, and it worked. So we may not get credit for it, but we know for sure we were the first company in Canada to do it. And that's what I do believe largely contributed to the real estate market being perpetuated. So let's see what our signs of excellence are year to date, right through COVID. I want to share this with you. Our closed units are up 12.3% year to date over last year as a company. Interesting. Our sales volume is up 12.5%. So if we combine the sale price of everything we've closed, it's up 12.5% over last year. We have written an increase in contracts, which you think would be almost impossible in COVID, but we are up. We're up 3.1% year to date in contracts written. Our closed GCI is up 11% year to date. And that's something that our realtors can celebrate for sure. The next one's a really interesting one, Gary. GCI per agent is up 23.4%. So I want to pause for a second. I did some math. So if a realtor made $80,000 with our company in GCI, and they improved their business by 23.4%, as a result of systems models that we provide, their cap is free. Isn't that interesting? So at $80,000 in production, assuming we can get your GCI to increase by 23.4%, your cap is now free. It's very interesting. The GCI per agent number is huge. I know for a fact, first of all, most companies locally won't even track this. But even if they did, they're not going to touch that number. That's the number to talk about, because that means everybody on this call, everybody in the company on average, putting 23.4% more money in their pocket in COVID. All right, let's take a look at the next one.
That wraps up those stats there, Marv. But
That's what I meant.
That is exactly.
There should not be a next one. That is
Right.
awesome. The way
Pierre knew. He's giving us a round of applause. He knew that
Thank
we
you,
would end
Pierre.
on that. That
So,
is. I know
huge.
you and I shared that number with me the other day, and it was that realization of, not to say it's an instant raise or instant that, but just look what it can do for you and your family, right? And use that momentum to keep moving forward. And hey, we understand that everyone may not be at this level, but use the momentum of your peers to move your business forward as well, because we are moving forward, and we want you to come along with us, and we are here to support you. So reach out to us. Definitely reach out to Jen if you're seeing your business not move the way you want it to move or way you think it should. The proof is in the pudding. Jen and her program can certainly fuel that to happen. So this is great stuff, Marvin.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up with our training slide. And speaking of Jen, she's doing a slide or a training on the 27th of October around Authentisign. Of course, in this digital world, we got to know how to use Authentisign, and it's integrated right into right into our MLS system. This is a great app, and Jen will certainly give it the insight on how to use that. So thanks for Jen for putting that together. Excuse me. Mega agent interview with Jeffrey Bonham. If you don't know who Jeffrey is, and perhaps a lot of you don't, he is a mega agent from the Tampa Bay, Florida area, great friends with Kirby, and he runs a huge team down there. But it doesn't matter how big the team is, it's what the volume is and what their production is. And he is a great motivator and somebody that Kirby's going to interview. And just to kind of, I was mentioning this with another agent this morning. It's always neat to be around people that are high business minded and just getting a glimpse into their world and how they think about things, how they process things, how they look at things as an opportunity. So that's an interview that you won't want to miss. And thanks for Kirby for putting that together. In November, I'm going to do another session on our wealth generation series. So wealth pillars, different wealth pillars, and what you can add to create passive income to your portfolio, and using real estate to leverage that. So that's going to be on the 19th. Again, I want to thank everybody for investing the time here this afternoon, and having meetings like this is incredibly important to us. It's a way that we can connect with you and share with you and pour into you as well. Really happy and very, very excited about where we're going over the next couple of months. This is the last quarter of the year of 2020, I should say. And some of you are saying, thank God. And some others are saying, I can't wait to get out there and hit the streets running and writing more business. But whatever and wherever that takes you, all the best. We look forward to seeing you next month. Bye for now.